back. Still and the fourth English vowel are the short R sound. Are the short R sound, and we're still treating A as a spelling form. Okay, so example of more examples of words that has letter A and have the R sound. We have our next example to be lash. Lash. Now our lash is transcribed as let's go together using our knowledge of cash and clash. Let's transcribe our lash together, listening strictly to only what we hear. Now our lash transcribed as ash, lash, lash. Next example, we have our bank. Bank. Now our bank is transcribed as bank, bank, bank. Okay, and the next word we have our bank. Wow. So using our idea of bank, let's transcribe bank together. Now our bank is transcribed as ang. If you're wondering why our bank ends with what? Ends with K, while our bank ends with just the sound. Now this is it. I say bank, but I say bang, not bank. I say what? Bank and bang. So in pronouncing bang, my G is word silent, but rather there's a word present of the sound. While in my bank, I have the and then mark sound at the end. Okay? So moving on to our lesson, we have our next example to be fancy. Wow. So using our idea, what we are hearing from fancy, let's transcribe fancy together. Our fancy is transcribed as fancy, 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 fancy. Remember, I have earlier said there is no C in the 24 consonants. So whenever I see letter C and it's produced as in cat or half walk, but when my C is produced as in fancy or half word, do not forget these. Okay, so moving on, we have our next example still under the other spelling form. We have our capture. Now let's transcribe capture together. Our capture is transcribed as capture, capture. Now you see, most time your R, if you check your dictionaries, your R may not be in brackets, but they may be written in an upside down manner, where since that is not possible here, so that is our bracket, meaning it's optional. Okay, so our next example we have mass. Mass. Now if you have been following this class, I have said Lars and Mars were special words because out of a million words that ends with ASS, Lars and Mars are the only two words that ends with ASS and have the short R sound. Yes. Okay. So you have a Mars to be, let's transcribe together. Rs. Mars. Mars. This is our sound, our S sound. Okay. Next example, we have our fact. Fact. Now let's transcribe fact together. Pin rapt attention to the sounds we hear. We have a fact to be act. Okay, so that was our fact. Quickly we'll go over to the next spelling form, the AR as a spelling form. So there are words that has AR and has the R sound. Yes. Now what are those words? We have one to be flat. Wow. So what's about to say I wanna plait my head actually wrong. So say what? I wanna plait my head. She went to plait her head. It will do you super good if you apply this knowledge to your everyday life, as constant practice leads toward perfection. Okay, in order for you to get used to this pronunciation, you should use this word correct pronunciation anytime, anywhere, any day. Okay, let's transcribe plait together, listening to our sounds and ignoring our letters. Let's transcribe plait together. Plait is transcribed as art, plat, plat, just that, plat. And the next we have plat, plat. Now a plat is transcribed as art, just as our plat, but in our plat we have words ending we have what? Ending our plat. Moving up to the next example, we have EI. Whoa. So there is a word in English that has EI and has the R sound. Yes. Now what is that word? We have the word to be Rivali. Rivali. Now our Rivali subscribers E Ali. Rivali's sound. Rivali. Rivali. Okay, next up quickly we have the next spelling form to be I. Whoa. So now there are words that have I in them and have the R sound. Yes. Now what are those? So we have one to be uppers. Uppers. Okay, now Britain. What we call in our English form transcribe our uppers to be pass. Okay, so you have the short R sound here and the long R sound here. Uppers. Uppers. Uppers, not impasse. Okay, next example we have lingerie. Lingerie. Now how is our lingerie transcribed? Let's go together. We have a lingerie to be lingerie. Okay, lingerie. Now you see when you check your dictionaries, you notice this R is written in an upside down manner. Okay, so the lingerie. And we have the next example to be UA. So you see there's a word that has UA, yes, and have a short R sound, the short R sound. And what could that word be? We have this special word to be guarantee. Your success is guaranteed. Now let's describe guarantee together. Now we guarantee to be guarantee. Guarantee, guarantee, guarantee. Moving on quickly, let's proceed. Now these are rules I want you to stick to mind, okay? Now this sound, what sound is that? The R sound. What sound is that? The R sound. This sound, that's the R sound, can be found in words that have our S here, in words that end with ACT. Whoa, so we have most words that ends with ACT have the R sound. Okay, most words that ends with ACT have the R sound. Now example of such words, we have one to be act. I'll call this body skirt. Yeah, body skirt is a very short rule to get these rules to your mind. So we have our act number one. So let's describe our act to be sure that this rule is correct. Now our act is transcribed as acts, right? We have this for our act. And the next we have our fact. Now our fact is transcribed as act. Fact. So we can actually see that this is working. Now to add to this example, we have our impact. Now our impact is our impact, and it's transcribed as well, and they have our pact. Okay, so we can boldly, or proudly say most words ending with ACT have the short R sound. So we can say this rule is what? Correct. So whenever I see a word that ends with ACT, what comes to my mind under my A is what? The short R sound. The short R sound. Do not forget that. Next quickly, we have the next rule to be this. This sound have the sound again? The short R sound. The short R sound. This sound can be found in words that end with words here that end with one. We have ACK. So most words that ends with what? ACK have what? The short R sound here. Okay, now let's take example of such words. One, we have sack. Let's transcribe sack together to be sure what we are saying. Now our sack is transcribed as sack. Okay, the R sound is here, right? Good. Next we have pack. Now let's just go about pack together. We have our pack to be pack. The R sound here. Okay. Next we have our lack. Okay, our lack is transcribed as lack. To add to this, we have our back to school. Now our back is transcribed. Let's go together. back. So we can say this rule is what correct. That truly most words ending with ACK have the short R sound, right? Good. Moving on with the next example, we have it to be this sound can be found in words that end with ATCH. Wow. So most words that ends with ATCH have the short R sound here. Whoa. So how true is that? Let's look at the examples that we've been given. We have one to be much. Much. Now to be so sure if this actually works, let's transcribe our much to look for a short R sound together. We have a much to be much, much, much. And our next example, so you can say these are R sound, right? Good. At. Next we have patch, at. Now let's transcribe our patch together. Our patch transcribe as patch. So we can say this rule is correct, that actually most words that ends with what ATCH have the short R sound. Next, quickly we have the next rule to be this sound can be found in words that end with ASH. Example of such words are, now the words that ends with, or most words that ends with ASH have the short R sound here. And what are the examples of these words? We have one to be cash. Well, we've transcribed cash before, right? So let's do it again. Our cash transcribed as cash. Okay, so we can actually say this is actually correct because our cash have the short R sound, right? Let's look at more examples. We have next to be lash. Now our lash transcribed as lash, having the short R sound here. Whoa. So this brings us to the end of this class. See you in the next class looking at our Jamb past questions. See you there.